Welcome to the Kentucky X-Files, Season 2, with your hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss an episode. Now, on to our show.
Coming towards me, just crouched down. For me, at first, I thought it was just a footage thing.
I thought it was a bear. You can tell the difference between like a small or spindly leg creature and something with a larger foot. And it was big, whatever it was. It ran straight down at us and just stopped. It was pitch black. Couldn't see it.
And most of these witnesses that have come close to these things could have been killed.
It was beating on the side of the house. I guess it hit the side of the house as it went by.
Now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was strong.
Right, like I needed someone to have pure faith in a higher power at that moment, and nobody fucking did.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kentucky X-Files.
We're doing the coyote howl again.
We might as well. I don't know how to make a Bigfoot sound, so maybe Coyote can get on here and invent a Bigfoot sound for us. You guys want to hear something funny about that? I know we dragged Coyote Peterson. Is it Peterson or Peterson?
I think it's Peterson.
Peterson. I know we drug him through the mud, but I want to drag him through the mud just a little bit more. I was watching Expedition Bigfoot the other day.
Yeah.
And what's her name? The girl, the chick. She's like a fucking primatologist or whatever in the group. She literally they had a like an eyewitness sketch artist sketch a Bigfoot from this person's description. Then they sent that over to these other guys that they restore like prehistoric skulls and things. And they had them guys basically create a skull based on the picture. So this guy like stripped down the picture layer by layer and built a skull. Then they had the skull 3D printed, right? And they sent it to her so she could see what the skull would look like. And she's sitting there describing this, the size of the skull and like this, that, and the other thing. And then she found a flaw in it. She goes, "Now look at this. This is a replica of a gorilla skull." She pulls it out, and lo and behold, it's the same exact skull that Coyote found, allegedly.
Oh, yeah?
And I even paused it and brought up a picture of his video and found the skull and was looking. I mean, it is identical, man. I really feel like, that shit is just, it's completely faked. He faked it, or somebody did. So... sorry, Coyote, but it's a bunch of horse shit.
Yeah, it is a lot of horse shit.
As soon as she pulled it out and showed it, it was like, you could just see it. Even them two little holes in the side.
Yeah.
It was all there. It was identical. It was the same. It's the same exact replica. And she was talking about how the Bigfoot skull didn't have the bridge at the top for the muscles, the jaw muscles to connect to.
Mm-hmm.
And all this, and how the gorilla skull does have those, and then they were talking about how the Bigfoot skull that they made didn't have canines, and they were like, well, how do we know that a Bigfoot would have canines? And they brought it up that, well, gorillas are technically, you know, they're omnivorous, but they're not that omnivorous. Like they don't have their canines because they're eating meat all the time. It's kind of a, you know, if they need them, they're there. You know, chimpanzees are a lot more carnivorous than gorillas are, which I found to be really, really interesting. So the idea that if there is a Bigfoot skull found, that it should, I mean, it should have at least some kind of, you know, canine or a dog tooth. You know what I mean? Pretty interesting stuff. Yep. And then I know I sent this over to you guys. This has been a very, very interesting week for the Sasquatch world.
Oh, yeah?
Man accused of killing a friend claims it was to stop him from summoning a Sasquatch.
That's the greatest headline.
With
the most tragic story. But
Yeah.
that is the greatest headline.
Yeah, it says here he's a fisherman from Oklahoma, and he was arrested because he confessed to killing his partner. He said he did it because he was trying to stop Bigfoot from coming to eat him. I mean, being fair, you know, like if you're fishing with your friend and he threatens to summon Bigfoot, I mean, what are you going to do?
Right.
You know, how are you going to, you know, you got to make a decision. You got to do it quick. You know, you got to get it there and do it before he summons Bigfoot, obviously, right?
Right.
So yeah, he said that, it says here that Larry claimed that while they were at the river, he discovered that Jimmy, the victim, intended to feed him to Sasquatch. He indicated that Jimmy attempted to get away from him so that Sasquatch could eat Larry.
While noodling for catfish.
While noodling for catfish. He says he choked him to death near the river. Then he went home and confessed to his daughter, who was dating the guy's son. What a twisted world. And it says the sheriff here says that he appeared to be under the influence of something. I'd say that's probably a safe assessment.
Yeah, I'd say that.
I mean, I say that, but then, you know, here in a week when they bring Bigfoot in and Bigfoot confesses, this guy's going to go free and it's going to be self-defense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bigfoot will be like, yeah,
I was going to eat him. But he didn't summon me in time. Right.
So, I don't know, you know, it's one of them things. It's, you hear these news stories, and I always think that it's always the Onion now.
Right.
You know, remember a couple years ago when people were eating each other down in Florida?
Yeah, the bath salt stuff.
Yeah, taking a bunch of bath salts and then eating each other. Wow. I mean, if there's going to be a zombie apocalypse, it's going to start in Florida, right?
Right.
I mean, I feel like at this point, everybody pretty much agrees that it's got to start in Florida. I mean, so much weird shit happens there. Pretty wild.
Yeah, I think that it'll definitely happen in Florida, and it'll happen in northern Florida.
Yeah.
like closer to Georgia and stuff.
Yeah. Over in the Panhandle or whatever they call it there.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because the further south in Florida you go, the more north you actually are. So, like, once you get like down into like the St. Pete, Tampa Bay area,
yeah,
everybody that lives there is from further north, you know, and it grows exponentially. So, you know, your St. Pete area, that's like the people that move from Ohio. And when you get down by Miami, you know, that's the people that move from New York, you know.
Okay. Makes sense. So you don't think those guys are going to be the culprits?
I wouldn't think so, mainly because they're all geriatric.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's true. You don't want to retire. Like, I think I'm going to retire after working my whole life and go down and start the zombie apocalypse.
Right. So if you got, you know, Panhandle, Florida area. What is that? Jacksonville? I think it's pretty close to that. I don't know. I don't know Florida that well. I just know that when I was in St. Petersburg, everybody there was from, Ohio and Illinois.
Right. Yeah. What else popped up here? The House votes to make it easier to report UFOs. Pentagon official says this legislation may open the floodgates. So that's great. The National Defense Authorization Act passed a voice vote without debate as part of an aggressive effort to exert more oversight over an enduring intelligence gathering challenge that has gained more attention in the recent years. Wow. So the bipartisan vote actually worked for something.
Right?
I think that's the bigger thing here. I mean, UFOs are great, but both sides actually agreed.
That's pretty impressive.
I'm just saying we can't agree on any of the shit like the whole pandemic. We shut down the government.
Right.
Apparently we're on the same page with UFOs though.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there's a little bit something behind that. You ever notice how anytime there's something super major going on, the government's all of a sudden like, we're going to shut down,
Right.
You ever think it's because they're just like, hey guys, let's come up with something fucking ridiculous so we can take a vacation?
Yeah, it could be it. I mean,
that could be it.
They do take a lot of vacations.
I just think it's funny. Is do you really think that they didn't get paid for that vacation that they did?
Oh, their salary, dude. They all got paid. They got paid no matter what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying. Is but they were paid millions of people were not had jobs or anything, and they fucking they're like, hey, we haven't came to a decision on helping you guys out. We're gonna go take a break. We'll be back later.
Right.
That's like being at the dentist where they put that fucking those damn thing jaws of life things to keep your mouth open, and then come back for 30 minutes, and you're like. That's basically what they did there.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Only
but
worse.
This is not a political podcast, so we're.
Well, I mean,
let's not dive deep into that.
I mean, you're right. But
we are a conspiracy cop podcast, so
yeah,
I mean,
there was times during the pandemic where I'm seeing, I think I stopped at Home Depot one day, right? Mm-hmm. I stop at Home Depot and there's a family, a mother, a father, and several children standing in the parking lot with a sign saying, "We need help. We need help." That's what I saw. I didn't have much at the time, but we helped. And other people helped. And the moral of the story here is, aside from conspiracy, political, whatever is no one has our back but each other. So when you're out there and you're thinking about what the government's going to do for you or what they're not going to do for you, just remember, more or less, we are on our own here. These guys get paid to have a vacation. Well,
isn't there a Ronald Reagan quote that he said that the scariest words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help"?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I see here the vote passed for UFO reporting. That's great. But then what? What happens after they're reported? Is there somebody gonna check it out? Somebody gonna look into it? What happens then? Because we have a great habit of our best research and our best video, no matter if it's UFOs or Bigfoot or what, just vanishing, just disappearing.
Or the cameras don't work.
Or the cameras don't work. Yeah.
And that's the crappy thing too is you said the stuff vanishing, and it's going straight to the government, so they're probably gonna have first eyes on it. So if they feel that they don't want to, this one seems a little too out there, or they know something a little more than we do, would they control the narrative? We're not releasing this one.
Oh,
'Cause there's-
absolutely.
Yeah, that's like I feel like no matter what the government says, and it sounds awesome that they're going to make it easier for to report that stuff, but it's still going through them. Like
Right.
I'm like I don't want to like say that I'm like I hate America, but Jesus Christ, when it goes through government, we never get the full facts.
Right.
We never get the full facts out of the government. It's a whole yes and no shit. And when it's an actual yes and no question, there's no yes and no.
Right. I liken it to I was researching this thing, and unfortunately it's a dead end because all information about it are just vanishing. One thing, there was this hot spot up in the Pacific Northwest where people were reporting sightings of the big guy just left and right, and it was just going crazy, right? Not even 14 days after the biggest bunch of sightings, this patch of land was seized and became government owned.
Really?
With a heavy penalty if you trespass. Now people are not allowed to go there.
Damn.
And I'm looking at this like, okay, so you say you want to help, but do you?
Yeah.
Do you really?
And on top of that, like, be perfectly honest, and we've asked this, like, I love this analogy, like, you always said, Denny, was, people lie because they're trying to cover up something, and they there's a purpose behind the lie. It's either for money or to not be, like, scrutinized or something of that nature.
Yeah.
What would be the purpose on keeping this under wraps? Like what would it cause them to say, we don't want the American people to know, or even the world to know, that this creature is real? Or even, like, it took them, like, how long have UFO sightings been reported? How long did it take them to say, like, okay, we're opening them the books?
Right.
And I know the book, like, but the crappy thing is, we look at the books, there's a lot of pages ripped out of it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, it's like, what's the point of is it more that they don't want the people to panic?
Right.
Or, like, what are they? There's something behind it, to keep this stuff under wraps. Like, why? Like, what's the point of the lying? What does it benefit them? That's
Right.
the question I would love to know.
I mean, I've heard many, many good theories about everything. I mean, especially in regards to UFOs. I think my personal theory about the UFO thing is a little lax and a little depressing. I mean, honestly, like I feel like it's not very satisfying, but it's kind of what I stand behind. When they say
the truth,
when they say, well, we're not sure what these phenomenon are, I believe them. And when they say, people talk about, like, oh, there's UFOs being studied under, Area 51 and all this, you maybe, but I doubt they know what the hell they're looking at. I really doubt it, and I'm sorry to say, but when they say that they just don't know what these are, I totally believe that. Because I don't know how you would. You might catch, you might find a crashed UFO and you might haul it back to your base and keep it secret and all this. But how the hell do you know what you're looking at?
Right. If you've got nothing to reference it against.
Yeah, there's no reference points. There's no nothing. They say, well, they recovered alien bodies, Apparently, there was a Sasquatch body that was taken to Wright-Patterson also.
That's the first I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, that's one that I dug up that I was really interested in, too. A Sasquatch body that was taken there and studied, and the reason, from what they speculate, the reason that it's not released is because they don't want people to know how similar our DNA is to theirs.
But what's the point? Like, what? Like, why don't they want us to know that? Is there? Did people ever say anything about that? Like,
well, I really can't say. All I keep thinking is perhaps it's something to do with like the indigenous peoples laws. You know what I mean? Because if it's DNA is that similar to ours. Now, I've heard all kinds of things. I've heard people finding eDNA, environmental DNA around areas that they thought there was sightings and such. Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard where people have found DNA that matched several primates known to us, including our own DNA. But if it's an upright bipedal and it's walking around and it's that closely related to us, enough to be confused with us, then it would technically fall into an indigenous person. And if it's an indigenous person, well, there's a whole bunch of shit that has to be redesigned then. And there's a whole lot of land that can no longer be used for anything but this indigenous people's home. Honestly, if Bigfoot if it comes out and it's proven, it's blah blah blah, it's all this, that, and the other thing, we got a whole bunch of mess to deal with after that. It's the same with UFOs. If they come out right now and they say, you know what, we did find a UFO in 1947, we do have bodies, and they are more advanced than us, and we're, similar in DNA, or whatever. There's going to be a mass panic of people that their world is turned upside down. People are going to freak out. Probably not us, because we're going to be sitting there like, wow, cool, but
we're aliens.
Because you think that, if it's a carbon-based life form and its DNA is anything like ours, and it's from somewhere else, that's going to lead to about a bazillion other questions. Why is it similar to us if it comes from somewhere else? Why is it this, that, and the other thing? Why are they here is the big problem. And if they're here and they're more advanced, well, that's a whole, that's a whole can of worms right there to open up. We've talked about that before, whereas if an advanced civilization shows up, it's usually not great for the not as advanced civilization involved. Doesn't turn out so good for them. And in this case, we would be the Aztecs in this. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got UFOs shutting down nukes. We got UFOs zapping nukes in lower orbit. We got UFOs that just fly right into nuke bases. Nuclear missile silos, just park. That's like the ultimate, I'm not afraid of anything you got. You got your big bad nuke, that's cute. I remember when I had my first interstellar beer. And we're sitting there like, we can vaporize entire cities with our nukes, blah blah blah, we're so awesome. These guys zoom right in and just zap it a couple times and it doesn't even want to work anymore. Decommissioned, just like that. So yeah, I'd say that there's good reason why not to release the aliens, the info on it. As much as we want it, much as we hunger for the information, I just don't see them doing it. But look at all this stuff. We've talked about stuff, all the way around to dimensions. Remember we bullshit about that, months ago, and then like physics is coming out saying that that's actually possible. You know what I mean? When science is actually telling you that the science fiction is actually not so far off. What the hell? We're getting into like, okay, so everything I thought was real is, it's kind of more like a guideline.
It's think of all your 70s science fiction, or even early 80s.
Yeah.
How much of that stuff is reality now?
Right. I really held out thinking we'd have flying cars by now.
Right.
I was hoping.
I've always I can understand, okay, let's say like a flying car from The Fifth Element. Like stuff like that. But you gotta think, what... Dude, we drive shit boxes all day long. What happens if we break down? We're falling out of the air.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't just pull over to the side of the road. or the side of the airwaves.
Right?
Yeah, we're falling. Oh yeah, we're dead. So I just never can see us ever having flying cars.
Yeah, and you got to figure too. Think of the people that roll around with no insurance, and the people that roll around with bald tires and bad brakes and all that. It's like,
we're terrible at this shit. Like I'm going to trust you with a flying car.
Yeah, half the population has a trouble with changing their oil on time.
Oh yeah.
And what was it, like another thing too, especially like how difficult it is to fly nowadays, especially with all like terrorists and stuff of that nature. You really think they're going to have freedom of us driving those types of cars with
right
when somebody could take those vehicles and do some massive damage?
Hey, think about this for a second. I mean, if they give you a flying car to drive around, right, you know for a fact that they're going to give somebody else the remote to shut that thing off.
Right.
So you're not even going to realize you're getting pulled over until you're landed. All of a sudden, you're just going to be hovering there like, what the shit? What's wrong with my flying car? And here comes a cop walking up, you know how fast you were flying? Well, no, officer, I didn't even realize, I'm sorry. I must have got carried away there. I don't know. It must be the flying car. Tell you one thing that would be great, though, if we did get flying cars is, just imagine this. You look outside, oh, man, it snowed like hell in the night. God damn it, I got to get to work somehow. No big deal. I'll just fly over that shit.
Yeah. That would be nice, not having to deal with that. But then think of your air traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin off-roading, though.
You want to go off-airing?
Yeah. Off-roading, you go to the off-road park with your hover quad. Hills and windy turns are no longer fun because you just flew over the whole forest.
Yeah, but think about what it would do for fishing.
Oh, fishing would be fantastic.
Right?
Hell yeah. You guys, are you familiar with the term thylacine or thylacine? Might even be thylacine.
Thylacine sounds familiar, but I don't know if I know what it is.
It's an Australian marsupial that went extinct in the 1960s. People used to call it the Tasmanian tiger. You ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah, Tasmanian tiger.
Okay. So this is something I thought this was super cool. This landed in my feed. People are still seeing them. It's become a cryptid. I think it's one of the only animals that's went from being an actual animal to being a cryptid. Like all the way down to people finding footprints and stuff. It's so cool, right? And they're talking about it now that they actually might go out and do a real investigation and see if they can actually find one. Because in the 60s, these things were, they said that, right around the 18th century, there was an estimate that there might be 2,000 to 4,000 of them in Tasmania. So that would have been well threatened by the 60s. You know what I mean? If not completely gone. But now we're seeing, up to 1,200 sightings. You know what I mean?
That's pretty wild.
And I think they're super cool because they almost look like a little wolf, like a wolf and a tiger or something mixed together. Like they're super cool. Like I hope they do find them. You know what I mean? So cool. There was one of the reasons why this has gained so much traction is because there was apparently a bird over there that was, for all intents and purposes, it was extinct. It was gone, right? And then in 2015, somebody released a bunch of pictures of this bird alive and well, flying around Australia.
Yeah, I think I actually remember seeing that article.
Yeah, I can't remember what kind of bird it was, but I know it was something really neat looking, You know, it's kind of a bummer though, because nobody sees the dodos.
Right.
You know, nobody ever spots a dodo anywhere. Poor dodo. You know, can't even be a cryptid.
But that died off
Yeah, that was
a long. What was that? What would that be in? Like what? Like era?
the dodo.
Wasn't that?
Dodos were actually a lot more recent than any of the others. There's actually a whole website based on dodo sightings, but it's just nothing's panned out. Nothing's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the dodo bird was, let me see if I can bring it up here. Extinct flightless bird. Where's it at here? I know it's extinction. There we go. Yeah, right around the 17th century it says. The last widely accepted record of a dodo sighting was 1662. And
wow,
that was a Dutch ship called the Arnhem, and those guys probably ate the last ones.
Yeah,
they were like, "Look at those!" Man, I am hungry.
Yeah, and they just moved just slow enough.
You know, I was gonna say, I mean, most of the like historical accounts show the dodo as being kind of a slow moving animal, not exactly an evolutionary success story. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I could only imagine you're starving. You just hit this island. You're like, oh man, if only there was something what's that? And all you just see is this big bucket of dodo chicken just walking across the beach, you know. And since they were, it says here that they were isolated on their island with no predators, right?
Right, so they knew no fear.
Yeah, so it says that they were almost entirely fearless of humans, and the fearlessness was its inability to fly made it an easy prey for sailors. So yeah, poor dodo. It says here in 1647, a dodo was reportedly sent to Nagasaki, Japan, but it was long unknown whether it arrived alive or intact. It says here, contemporary documents first published in 2014 proved the story and showed that it actually did arrive alive. It was meant as a gift, despite its rarity. It was considered of equal value to the white deer and a bezoar stone. I don't know what that is. It was the last recorded dodo in captivity. Scientists, get on it. I really feel like, we're working on mammoths. We're working on, cloning a mammoth, right? They'll probably say they're not, but we know better. We know they're going to do it. I think they are. What do you guys think?
I think they'll attempt it.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be, it'd be kind of neat because I like mammoths.
I know. It'd be so cool. It'd be cool if they could, make us a little bitty mammoth that you could have,
Right.
A little, dog-sized mammoth that you can keep. I'd be cool with that. I'd have a mammoth farm. Mammoth milk.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's got to be good. I mean, shit, mammoths, It says here, one research team claims that mammoths cannot be recreated. But they will eventually grow in an artificial womb a hybrid elephant with woolly mammoth traits. Comparative genomics shows that the mammoth genome matches 99% of the elephant genome. Okay, this is just me, and I'm not trying to nitpick, but if it's 99%, it's a mammoth.
Right.
You know what I mean, man? I'm sorry, it's a mammoth. Come on.
Yeah, if you're 99%.
99%. Come, you know what I mean?
That's close. That's real close.
Yeah. I mean, they said the outcome would be an elephant mammoth hybrid with no more than 1% mammoth genes. But you just told me that the other 99% matches. I'm no mathematician here, but 99 plus 1 sure sounds like a mammoth to me.
That's 100 in my book.
That is 100 in my book. Yeah. Yeah, mammoth cloning. That's a big thing, you know. So what's up? Why can't we get the dodo going? What are we afraid of? The dodo has some DNA sequence that is going to start the zombie dodo apocalypse. Zombie dodo apocalypse. There you go, Ty. There's the answer to your question. You wanted to know how a zombie apocalypse could start, and there it is.
With zombie dodos?
Zombie dodos. They're going to bring dodos back. And there's going to be something that they missed deep in their laboratory in Area 51. Right? And somebody's going to like not wash their hands after dissecting the Bigfoot and the aliens. And they're going to be messing with the zombie stuff because this is all one guy, right? It's just one dude working on all of this stuff at the same time.
And he gets complacent in his job.
He does. He's like, nah, what could happen?
Meh.
I'm not getting anywhere on this Bigfoot UFO thing, so I'm just going to work on the dodos for a while, right?
My boss is a jackass, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's underpaid, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't even supposed to be at work today.
Yeah.
Right? It was his off day. He got called in. I think that's a good enough backstory, right?
Right.
The zombie dodo starts off as a normal little birdie. He comes alive, you know, he hatches. I'm back. I'm the first. We're back on Earth again. This is so magical. Maybe we can even fly this time. He can't. He can't fly this time. He doesn't know that.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden he starts feeling weird. You know, he doesn't want to eat berries and stuff off the ground and grass. He wants flesh.
He wants revenge.
He wants revenge. He wants to kill all humans. Next thing you know, an army of zombie dodos with their zombie caretaker humans come flooding out of Area 51 with a zombie Sasquatch and a couple zombie alien bodies with them.
I love how everything's zombified.
Everything now. And they come out and they go straight to Florida, and that's where it starts.
God dang it. Are we turning this podcast, like, we need to change the name if we're doing talking about all this. This should be the KY pasta. Where
KY pasta.
The Kentucky...
Kentucky pasta.
Yeah, Kentucky pasta, where the...
Hold on a second.
Branch of
hold on a
pasta.
second. I was going to say, hold on a second. For all of our listeners over 40, what Tyler is referring to is an internet term called creepypasta. And creepypasta is nothing more than horror fiction.
Yeah.
So, just explaining that to you guys, because I know right now people under 50 years are going, what the hell are they talking about pasta all of a sudden for?
Yeah. Hey, you know what, though? Regardless, Ty, if the zombie dodo apocalypse starts, I'm just going to sit back and be like, hey, man, I called it. It was a long shot, but I called it. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know. For those listening, we were talking earlier about how could a zombie apocalypse actually start? What could cause it? You know, to really happen. I'm not like Walking Dead, you know, Night of the Living Dead zombies coming up from the ground and reanimating and trying to eat us.
Would it be a virus that actually reanimates the body? Could a body actually function without its main operating system, if you will?
So, yes.
So you're saying if the brain is still alive, it could move a body?
So there is a blueprint for this. It already exists in nature.
Uh-oh.
And forgive me for the pronunciation, but Ophiocordycipus unilateralis.
Wow.
Is a fungus.
I had it last night. It was good. It was a nice Italian dish.
Right.
Now, was it pasta?
It is no, it's a fungus. So it was a mushroom.
Okay.
Oh.
And this is known as the zombie fungus. And it grows in ants' brains and takes control of their bodies.
Wow.
So in a way, it's not. They're not dead though. It just kind of makes like the virus kind of takes control.
Well,
of their
but
body.
but it's not a virus. It's another living organism.
Oh
that
yeah, well,
takes complete control.
It takes complete control.
Yeah, this
so
is
it's something that. So it's not your typical. It wouldn't be your typical. You have to shoot them in the head. It like you could actually shoot them a couple times. You could like they can bleed out. People can bleed out. That I could see that. Like you were saying, another living organism could take over. I can believe that. But if it's something where I don't see, if you're already dead, I don't think like you're not coming back.
Well, and you know, if it's something like a virus that took over dead bodies, you know, fresh dead bodies would be scary for a little while, but anything that's been dead for any amount of time is not going to be much of a threat.
Yeah, because it's not going to have any kind of like your muscles will like you're basically you'll rot.
Right. Exactly.
Because your body's not like your blood is like your heart is not pumping, so you're not your blood is not going through your body, so your body will just basically start to decay. And I just don't see it. Like I feel like it would be very mushy. I think you could get away from a zombie, if anything, because like I feel like their bodies would basically be.
I just want the record to state that Tyler did use the word mushy just now.
Mushy.
Mushy. And now I can't stop thinking about the word mushy. Please continue.
I'm just saying, like, you could probably, like, tear them apart with ease.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I quoted Sex Machine from,
I got it.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's like, these vamps are mush. Well, he said mush.
Yeah.
And then I said mushy. I'm
I
sorry.
think that's it, right? Like, if there's a zombie apocalypse, it's only going to go on for so long, right?
Right.
I feel like if we don't treat it like we did with COVID.
Oh, Jesus. The government's preparing to shut down as we speak about this.
Yeah. Oh, my God. If they fucking... Oh, dude. If a zombie apocalypse, a pandemic like that...
Right.
Oh, God. They would be more concerned about you wearing a mask than actually taking care of the whole fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact to add in there to this. May 18th, 2011, the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention published a graphic novel entitled Preparedness 101 Zombie Apocalypse, providing tips to survive a zombie invasion.
Really?
The CDC used the metaphor of zombie apocalypse to illustrate the value of laying in water, food, medical supplies, and other necessities in preparation for any and all potential disasters, be they hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, or hordes of zombies. So, there you go. And they also, in 2011, the Department of Defense drafted the Con Plan 8888, a training exercise detailing a strategy to defend against zombie attack. Probably shut down for months to work on that. You know, Michael Jackson also had a solution in 1983, which was the power of music. So if you go back and watch Thriller, you'll see that all you need is a solid beat, and you can control those pesky undeads. It was very interesting, though. I don't know. I wonder why the government decided to chime in on that. Maybe it was a popularity thing. I don't know.
That's pretty amazing.
What if here's a scenario for you guys. What if the zombies did happen and they were nowhere near what George Romero intended them to be?
What are you saying?
Like the zombie crawls up and it stares at you and it's like, I'm gonna eat, and he just like crumbles in front of you and falls over. Like it never even has a chance because it's just falling apart. You know, think people would be disappointed.
I mean, I would. I'd want to. You know, if it does happen, I'd like to see at least a little bit of a battle go on. You know.
Yeah.
You can get that rush from the camaraderie of humans bonding together, forgetting our differences, and
Yeah.
beating something like that would be awesome.
Do you guys remember that what was it, Dawn of the Dead, when they're on the roof of the the building sniping zombies?
Yeah.
There's like this unbelievable sized horde just hanging out. I would feel a little bleak in a situation like that, I mean, I could only imagine after a couple of weeks of just looking at this massive horde, just sitting there to myself like, I think we're screwed, guys. I don't know how we're gonna get out of this one. And why'd we go to the mall? Like, how
I really don't like this place.
Right.
How did we settle on the mall?
The shitty thing is that when we get to the mall, the only people that actually would be there would be the mall walkers, the people that walk the mall before the mall actually opens.
Right.
People,
Right.
It's just a bunch of old ladies just power walking.
I like. Was it was it Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead? That they the whole premise was that the zombies were just doing what they did in normal day-to-day life.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it was Land of the Dead.
Oh yeah, they were like retaining a little bit of their like day-to-day or whatever.
Yeah, it was that because there was that one. Well, that was what started to happen with them after the zombie apocalypse. Like, it's been years, and then they started to mimic what they used to do, like, because they were starting to retain some of their old memories. And yeah, it was that main guy, bald-headed dude. He was a gas station attendant.
Yeah.
He was the one. Like, he heard that ding. He goes out and he's trying to put gas in a car. So yeah, that was the Land of the Dead. So I could say, okay, let me put it that way: if this organism did that and it took over people's bodies, I'd feel like, yeah, you basically would not be you anymore, but you're still there.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, your body will still, because an organism or anything that latches to you, if it's wanting a host, it's going to want you to be alive. Because if you're just going to die, you're, like, what's the purpose of controlling you?
Right.
Like, unless you can spread yourself pretty quickly, then I could see that, like, they just don't give two shits about you.
Yeah, I was looking at a picture of the ant, the zombie ant, and it's got like this little fungus antenna sticking out of the top of its head.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but think, like, what if, like, all the zombies had this, like, antenna? Like, just walking around with this, like, antenna sticking out of their head.
Right. I mean, it'd be great for like tall grass. You could find them pretty easy.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder what we would call them then. Like, you know how, like, every new zombie movie comes out, they give them their version of, because they don't know what zombies are, so they call them something totally different than what we call them, zombies. Like The Walking Dead, they call them walkers.
Yeah.
Some people call them deadheads.
Yeah.
And some like old
biters.
movies. Yeah, biters.
Yeah.
You remember that movie World War Z?
Yeah.
It was like the zombies. There was something in there like where they could sense like if you were sick or something, they would pass you by.
Oh yeah, like, yeah, if you were, because it would want a healthy host. It's
right.
a virus. It wants a healthy host. I actually like that twist on that one.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I heard they're they're trying to work on another one. I thought. I don't know.
I thought that movie did, like, terrible.
Probably did. I don't know. I mean, they stuck Brad Pitt in it. That usually gets you somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's like when they announced that movie was coming out. That's when I knew that the zombie stuff had went too far.
Yeah. It's pretty wild though, man. Looking at pictures of these, like how it looks like the ant actually, it walks around and it does shit for a while, and then when it dies, it basically becomes a new spawn point for the mushrooms to grow. You know what I mean? God, that would suck.
Right?
You're just like, man, I'm just living my little happy ant life, you know? And all of a sudden you're like, I feel funny. I don't feel so good, guys. And the other ants are looking at you like, oh man, he's got the suds.
He's got the suds.
He's got the suds, man. We got to get away from him. And then the next thing you know, Larry's hanging off a leaf and he's just a bunch of mushrooms. God damn it, Larry. What did you get yourself into? But God, it's so creepy looking, man. Like, I'm going to show you guys this picture. I'll put this up on our Facebook too. Check this out. This is Larry afterwards.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Larry's literally, he's not Larry anymore. He's like Fungus Larry now. I don't know why he's Larry either. I have no idea. It was just at random.
I mean, Larry was the name of the guy that killed his friend, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. You're right. Maybe. No, that's too far, isn't it? I was thinking maybe he got the mushroom fungus. Maybe it wasn't him that wanted. You know what I mean? Maybe the mushroom fungus, it was in his head and it was telling him. You know.
I just think it's funny too, is that like you're saying, like this is a fungus, a mushroom or of that sort.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I can't remember what they called it, but that's the actual. There's another fungus that's considered it's the largest living living thing on this earth. I can't remember what they called it.
Yeah.
It's in a forest, isn't it?
Yeah. And I can't remember what they said. Something about the trees. Or no, I think that's a different one. The trees are all connected together.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the mushroom or if that's another separate thing.
I think the tree is the largest living organism on the planet, and it's like so many acres of all one tree because the roots are all connected.
Yeah. It says here Armillaria Stoya. I'm probably mispronouncing this. Record holder of title of world's largest known organism. And it is, yeah, it's a fungus. That's so wild. That is so crazy.
Okay, so the fungus is the largest. Is the tree like the second largest, or is it just the largest tree?
I think the tree is the second.
The tree is okay. It's the unfortunate victim of a root disease, right? That's caused by this fungus. So
okay. So they're connected.
It's like it's taking over these trees, and you know.
So that's why I thought that's what the trees were connected together.
Zombie trees.
Because of the. So yeah, like I think it's weird that I guess this is like, I feel like this is a sign saying like, hey man, these we're gonna start seeing some zombie people because of this fungus. Like, just think about that. We're going to have just mushrooms growing out of our foreheads, and we're just going to be walking around doing our day-to-day shit in the near future. We're going to be, Homo fungi?
Homo fungus
erectus?
Yeah. It says here 420 million years ago, before trees pretty much overtook the Earth, this planet was covered by gigantic mushrooms. And now at this point it says that land plants were still new kids on the evolutionary scale. But these gigantic spires of prototaxites were everywhere. So there you go. You know. Fungus. It's going to be the downfall of everything.
Fungus.
I'm just going to go outside and start just spraying antifungal stuff everywhere. Tough actin Tanaxin. That's what we need.
Right.
Right? We'll get out there and just, oh, dude, look at that. Okay, zombies coming after you. You grab your foot spray, spray them right in the face. Done. Don't even have to waste ammo.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's
Dude,
that
a
would
super
probably
soaker.
be- yeah, super soaker, or like have one of the. We all have our army has those those big sprayers on their backs.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
It's like a
See?
flamethrower.
Look at that. Perfect. It's like we're just knocking solutions just left and right around here. You know? It's pretty wild though. I'm looking at pictures of people unearthing these like the remains of these giant fungus. It's really cool. I'll show you guys.
Oh wow.
Imagine what he like thought that was when he first like started, you know.
It looks like a freaking like decomposed like graboid.
Right?
Yeah, it does, kind of.
And let's see here. Artist's rendition of what
Where
it
is that?
probably would have looked like back then.
What is that? Where is that?
I don't know. It didn't really have a location. It just was showing kind of an example. I was just doing an image search.
This actually, like, they actually said that this thing grew out of the earth.
Yeah, they were gigantic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder why they retreated under the ground.
Probably the same reason why like all the animals, you know, like dinosaurs, megafauna, all started shrinking. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been, you know, a lot to do with the oxygen content in the air. You know, atmospheric pressure. You know what I mean? Also, you think too is back then when they're talking, the Earth was one gigantic globe of just humidity. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
It was a lot more humid. It was, you know, the Devonian period would have been like just miserable. You know what I mean? Like for anything like us, it would have just been miserable. Because it would have been like, you know, your sweat would have been sweating for no reason.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I imagine it, you know, back then it was probably pretty common for stuff like this to just kind of sprout up and just keep going. And then when the humidity came down, the trees started growing. Pretty wild. I just wonder, like, when was it that, and why? Okay, why did we know there's like psychedelic mushrooms, right? Like hallucinogenic.
Yeah.
I just want to know when in their evolution and why did they develop that as, you know, was it a defense mechanism? Is it like, dude, this thing's going to eat me, I'm going to make it trip out? You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and what effect did that have on an animal, you know, if it ate something like that? You know?
Can you imagine, like, some sort of prehistoric fauna, some giant creature just obliterated out of its mind?
Right. I think it's hilarious. I used to have this peach tree that the peaches would ferment on the ground, and there was a squirrel that would come and just eat them until he just literally was drunk. And if you've never seen a drunk squirrel fall off of a tree before, it's something you gotta see in your lifetime. Like, it's definitely bucket list, because it is probably one of the most hilarious things I've ever witnessed.
It sounds amazing.
But could you imagine, like, a tyrannosaur or something just accidentally, you know, when he bit into something, he just got a mouthful of hallucinogenic mushrooms? You know, and
What the fuck?
he's sitting there eating his kill, like, man, this is great, and the kill's sitting there talking to him. Like, man, you are delicious. I know, man, thanks. Yeah, you're a hell of a good predator there. You got me no sweat. Oh, thanks, man. You know, it's nobody thought I could because of my tiny little arms, but you know, I just keep at it every day. You know what I mean? I just never give up. Well, that's the key thing there. I mean, you know, oh, you missed a little bit of me right there. Oh, thanks, I appreciate that. Got a little bit more of me hanging out of your mouth there. Oh, yeah, sorry. You know,
It actually dabs it off his
yeah,
off
like
his cheek.
just completely tripping out. You know.
Or can you imagine, like, the flying ones?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
You know, I often thought that, having a time machine would be a really awesome idea. But I know that that's the kind of stuff I would get myself into. Is like,
Absolutely.
I'd be like, all right, I got to go see prehistoric times. I want to go see the Jurassic or the Triassic or whatever. And you sit back, and the first thing that happens is you've got a T-Rex that's tripping balls.
Right.
Is like, just has to just eat you immediately,
Yeah. First, he philosophizes about life and death, and
you have to sit there and listen to his idea for a podcast.
Yeah. He wonders. He goes through like a little midlife crisis, wondering if anyone's ever going to know who he was and what he thought about.
Right.
And then he eats you. Because apparently, since his body weight's so big, the mushroom doesn't have as powerful as an effect as it would on something like us. So he gets over it real quick and eats you anyway.
Right.
I don't know, man. I've thought a time machine would be so amazing, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. I'd probably get myself killed in the dumbest possible way. I can't even say it'd be like a T-Rex. It'd probably be something stupid, like I just, step out of the time machine like, oh my God, look at this. This is amazing. And then just like a gigantic dragonfly would just attach itself to my head and just kill me instantly. And that would be that, and the time machine's just stuck back in prehistoric time for some modern day guy to find buried underneath of a pyramid or something, I don't know.
Because you wouldn't be able to own your own time machine, so you'd probably lease that, and there's a time frame that it will just call itself back, because they want their property back.
Yeah, but you know how many of those would just come back empty?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's the how people do with, like, random, like, cars, like rental cars, and
right.
Any type of thing that they rent. Like, hey, it's like, hey, we got a tracker in that just in case if you go missing, at least we get our stuff back.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the videos of people who show up late for cruise ships, and they're just like running up the gangplank, and the ship's just pulling away. Like, I think that's actually something people do that go on cruises. They stand on the bow and record all the people running late and getting trapped wherever they were.
Right.
So, like, if people can't make it back in time for a cruise ship, people are not going to make it back in time for a time machine. Yeah,
I can see that. Like, people are just laughing, like, they're going to be stuck here.
yeah.
Right. But my thing was always, so say I go back in time and get myself killed, can they, like, alter that to where I never go back, and kind of bring me back, or is it a one-way ticket, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because, like, I want to make that up front. It's like, hey, there's a solid chance I get myself killed.
Yeah, the only way the time machine thing is ever going to work, especially if it's in a lease or rental system, is if you wear it like a watch.
Yeah, I get you.
That, and let's face it, we can't trust the people. We can't. We can't trust people to go back in time and not screw everything up.
Dude, I'm sorry to say, like, as much as I want to go back in a time machine and check stuff out, I don't even trust my GPS.
Right.
It's probably MapQuest.
Right? I mean, you know how many times my GPS has told me that I need to go down this street in a semi? And I'm sitting there looking at this street like, there's no way I can go down that street in a semi, you fucking asshole.
I love that when GPS first came out, it always told you to make a illegal U-turn if you passed your road.
Yeah.
It's telling you to do something illegal.
Yeah.
I just always thought that was funny. It's like, okay, we're going to trust that on a time machine?
I would totally submit that as evidence, too. Like, I made it based on what this computer program was telling me to do.
So I can attest to this because I'm actually the reason why there is a no outlet sign on a road I used to live in.
Yeah.
Because we had so many semi trucks come down because their GPS told them they could come down our road and hook a right onto another road to get back out on the main drag.
Yeah.
And that had been closed off for 15 years. Right.
Yeah.
There was times that I was like late going to work because they were stuck. It was a little 1-lane subdivision road from the 50s,
Jeez.
so there was, you couldn't turn around. There was no place. I mean, the houses didn't actually have garages. They had like the old like carport thing that the people enclosed like a garage. That's that's how old. My house didn't have air conditioning. So this is 50s subdivision. Built for 50s cars, and it was ridiculous. Like I got up to go to work one morning, and there was a semi just parked in front of my house, and he was stuck because he would have had to back up. I want to say it was like 3/4 to a mile to get to the main drag, and they would have to wait for police to come escort him out. And then there was times where I would come home and I would just be stuck, and I'd park on the side of the road somewhere up at the funeral home and walk back because you couldn't get around, So even though everybody in the neighborhood complained, nobody listened, and I started emailing the mayor like constantly until they finally put in a no outlet sign. And I'll be damned if it didn't work.
No shit.
Yeah, they put the new outlet sign on. They made a post about it on the town's page. We were all excited about it, and then like a week later, a semi truck got stuck.
Wow.
So, if that just goes to show you that trusting computers is too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually had to resort to downloading Trucker GPS before. And it still will take you down, places where you just really don't need to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why the other day I was talking to a guy at work, and he was talking about the idea of dock-to-dock trucking, being this super awesome, easy job, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I basically just told him, I was like, you see the trucking I'm doing right now? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, this is the extent of trucking I'm willing to do.
Right.
It's like, because I can get this truck most places in and out, but some of these guys in these 53 footers, 13.6 and heaven forbid 13.9 trailers, they can't. So the GPS takes them down somewhere, and it's over. They're stuck, and it sucks.
Or a double or a triple trailer.
Yeah. Or triples. Oh my god. Yeah. I couldn't even imagine getting stuck somewhere with triples.
You can't back up.
Nope.
There's no way.
You're basically calling other trucks to come and get those other trailers, and that's you're talking an all day thing. But yeah, there it is. This is all why I don't think that I would trust the time machine. Unless it's a DeLorean, because Doc Brown wouldn't send you. He wouldn't shit you.
No.
He's got you.
Yeah.
But guys, I know we're over an hour here, and I had one more cryptid I wanted to do an honorable mention of. Mm-hmm. It's not, technically it's not a cryptid. It's more of like a cryptid theory, I guess. Right? It comes from from Tennessee. And I found this and I saved it. And I thought it was hilarious. A couple years ago, the police department in Loretto, Tennessee, were asking residents to refrain from flushing their drugs down the toilet because they were afraid it was going to cause meth gators. They were afraid that the basically down the Tennessee River in North Alabama, they were afraid that the meth would basically get there and you would have a bunch of hyped up meth alligators. Not That's really amazing. A cryptid, but I feel like that deserved an honorable mention. Ever since the meth hogs thing, which I find that's absolutely terrifying.
Or what was it, the meth fish?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fish that actually preferred the meth water.
Yeah. Preferred the meth water.
Yeah. I mean that right there, that to me that's like, yeah, man, this is grounds for something here. I mean, we just last week there was a woman that was eaten alive by alligators in Florida. Holy shit, she fell in. She got eaten. Sucks. Really does suck. I mean, I hate that, but I mean, now imagine if those gators were all hyped up on meth.
Oh God.
It's even worse because you don't even have to fall in then. They're jumping out.
And then, not on top of it, eating them, they're going to steal their wallet, her wallet too.
Yeah.
And then try to help her find it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably follow her back home and then take all the copper out of her house when she's asleep. That might have been too far. Anyway, I'm not
I don't
trying to
like
make
plumbing work.
not trying to make light of the lady getting eaten. It's terrible, and I do feel bad for that. But come on, if you're gonna do all these drugs, at least dispose of them in a way that doesn't cause monsters. Come on.
Okay, are we saying be responsible with your drugs?
I mean, people are gonna keep doing them. There's nobody's gonna hear this and go, you know what? I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm laying down meth. Doubt it. Seriously doubt it. So hey, if you're out there and you're doing this shit, which I don't advise, at least get rid of it in a good way. I mean, crap. I don't want to have to be worried about meth deer in the future or meth gators. Heaven forbid a Bigfoot. Meth Bigfoot. I don't know where I'm going with that. This is a mess. And here, you want to go into one deeper than this? Imagine when the not deer stumbles upon the meth. Huh?
The not deer meth. The meth not deer?
Right. We can't even come up with a name for it.
Did you guys see the video I sent to the chat?
I did. And you didn't even say anything. You literally just sent it, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, "That's the not deer."
Right.
It's the not deer. I don't like it. I don't know why that not deer just gets to me, over and over.
It gets to me too because it knows my name.
Tyler.
Tyler. Like that's terrible.
What do you think, guys? Should we let them get on with their day?
I feel like we should, because I feel like they think that we have that fungus right now. We're just babbling on, or we just have mushrooms growing out of our heads.
Well, thank you for listening to the Kentucky Not X-Files.
Right. Speaking of not stuff, I've got one final thought to leave the people with, and it's a conspiracy theory that I've just been made aware of recently, and it has to do with the CERN collider.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, apparently, the last time they fired up the CERN collider is around the time when everybody started having their Mandella effect issues.
Gotcha.
So, in here recently, they fired up the CERN collider, and I believe they wound her all the way up this time.
Just
I
heard about this.
Let her pour the coals to it and let her eat. So, I want to know from our listeners, what Mandela effects have you guys noticed recently?
Yeah, I'm gonna start paying attention too and start thinking about that one.
I feel like I actually had to look that up. Do you want to explain what a Mandela effect is before, just so people know?
Yeah, that's no problem. So a Mandela effect all stems from a time when everybody was talking about Nelson Mandela and talking about his life like he was dead, and everybody assumed he was dead because everybody remembers him dying while he was very much alive. So yeah, so he was like, hey guys, I'm still here, and that stemmed a whole thing of people looking into stuff of, is this actually what happened, or is it just how I remember it? And people think it has to do with alternate universe, and that's why the CERN collider is involved. Trying to think here, okay, so one great example for Mandela effect is what was Johnny Carson's co-host? What was his name?
Drawing a blank. I can picture the guy's face, but I can't think of his name.
I can't believe he's escaping me. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll have to get another one to pull up here. That way I don't feel like an absolute fool.
Ed McMahon?
Ed McMahon.
Okay, so Ed McMahon, yeah. Okay, so Ed McMahon had nothing to do with Publishers Clearinghouse, guys. Just so you know.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh God, I don't like that. It's like my whole life is a lie.
Right. Curious George does not have a tail.
What?
Yeah, I knew that. I thought I knew. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't picture it with the tail.
The peanut butter is Jif, not Jiffy.
Okay,
Okay,
no.
yeah, I knew that
No.
one.
No, it's not.
Tyler's like taking a stand on it. He's like, nope.
Right.
Nope.
All right. The Berenstein Bears did not exist. They were the Berenstein. Okay. It was
Nope.
started with an A. It ended with an AIN, not an EIN.
I just really love hearing Tyler
Nope.
protest this in the background.
Gibbs, you can
Right.
kiss my ass. That's my defense on
He's
that.
not having it.
There's only 3 E's in Febreze.
What?
Yeah, it's FEBREZE, not FEBREEZE.
Why are you? No.
Oscar Mayer, it's spelled MAYER.
That's just not right. That can't be right. They need to turn that damn collider off. I don't think that these are. You know what I think happened? They turned it on and it altered our reality and it changed all these. We remember them the way they are.
That's the theory. Okay, the Monopoly Man. Okay, picture the Monopoly Man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him with his top hat and he's running with his bag full of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does not have a monocle.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Because when you said his top hat, the money bag, I'm like, and his monocle.
Right. I
was
saw the monocle too. Like I saw it. Yeah.
Clear as day.
Yeah. It's not right.
This one's gonna get you Star Wars guys.
Okay.
C-3PO has a silver leg.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, because he put it. When he was putting them together, I think it later. Was it later episode?
Yeah. He lost a leg somewhere, and then.
Yeah.
This one, like, I don't think that one's too bad because, like, I seem to remember that one.
Okay, here's another one for you Star Wars fans.
Okay.
Famous quote from our favorite bad guy in the movie, Luke, I am your father. Never happened.
I know that. Yep. I've
The
heard
line
that.
is, no, I am your father.
Yeah.
I don't like that either.
All right, Jaws people,
Oh,
we're gonna
no.
need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never said.
What?
It's you're going to need a bigger boat, not we're going to.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, okay. Another thing I want to protest to this. Some of these movie things, they sometimes say it in the trailers, but change it in the movie.
So I challenge you to find an actual clip of them saying this, because I've dug down through this.
I get you. I'm saying that you should be right. I get that part, but there has been times where you saw something in the trailer of a movie, and then when
Okay.
it comes out, it's not how they portrayed it in the movie.
So another one for you that I actually spent 2 hours down the rabbit hole trying to find: Silence of the Lambs, famous scene. Hello, Clarice.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah.
There is no instance where Hannibal Lecter says hello, Clarice. He says good morning.
Good morning, Clarice. Yeah.
Yep.
The only time he says hello is in the third movie when he calls her.
Right. That's the only time he says hello. But
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's the
say
only-
hello. He does not say hello, Clarice.
I thought he said hello, Clarice.
Nope.
Okay.
Buddy, I spent 2 hours trying to find Hannibal Lecter saying hello, Clarice. It does not exist except for in horrible, horrible fakes.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely don't like these. It's just not right.
Do you guys remember the Sinbad movie? Shazam? Shazam?
The Sinbad, that's Shaq.
That was Kazam.
Oh.
Okay. Do you remember a movie where Sinbad played a genie called Shazam?
No.
No.
See, he might be a little young. You don't remember it? Okay, there are thousands upon thousands of people that remember this movie. And it's such a big Mandela effect that Sinbad actually had somebody he put him in a genie costume and make a fake Shazam DVD cover. The movie never existed, but there are hundreds of thousands of people that remember Shazam. I was one of them.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah, there's all kinds of these things. And it's messing with people. And I've already seen a few where people are saying that since the collider happened, they're finding things. Like the people are saying they remember Chick-fil-A being spelled CHICFILA.
Yeah, I thought so
Like,
too.
There's no K in it is what they remember. There is a K in it.
Wow.
And my argument with that one is I get it because the rest of it's kind of spelled whatever, but CHIC is chic, you know?
Yeah.
So chic filet would be, I don't know, do you get like champagne when you go there? I don't know. I mean, the service would be the same.
Right. They might as well. There's like 90 people in the drive-thru.
Right.
I mean, there should be like a valet and guy that brings you out champagne while you wait to order.
Right. So that concludes my portion of it, and I want everybody who's listening to comment or email us or message us on the Facebook, and tell us your Mandela effect and if it's sparked since the CERN collider was fired up.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be interested to hear about those too.
And if anything that Gibbs said triggered you in any way, just don't shoot the messenger, because I'm feeling a little hatred to him because I'm not having this.
Send all your hate mail to me at care of Encounters at Kentucky X Files at KYX Files. You can find us on all the platforms.
Hashtag we must stop Giz.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll see if I can't drum up some more for the next episode and just ruin everybody's Monday with facts that they thought they knew.
There we go. I'm going to be digging into this week. I'm going to be digging into possible prehistoric underwater predator that may have been sighted. And from what I understand, there's actually pictures. So I'm going to try to get a hold of that and get it ready for next week's, because I'm super excited.
Is this the thing that washed up at a beach in Australia?
No, it's something I actually brought up months ago. It was like an underwater camera, some kind of Chinese or Japanese drilling offshore or whatever, and this thing's massive and it swims. It looks like the ocean floor until it swims away.
Oh, cool.
And then it's like everybody was kind of puzzled, like, what the hell are we looking at? But apparently there's more pictures that have come to light, and it apparently is a shark of some sort, but it's bigger than anything that we've seen so far. So I'm excited. I don't want to say it, but I can tell you what I'm kind of like leaning towards. But
very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I'm going to be digging into that for next week, and then it's going to be awesome.
Okay, I feel like we ruined everybody's day with all these Mandela effects bullshit, and then we've been blabbing on all fucking day.
Right.
So, I guess let's put this one to rest, and hopefully people don't hate us that much and leave. They join us back on next Monday.
That's it. See you next Monday, everybody. Take care of each other out there.
Mwah.
See you guys.